What defines a bad Pokemon is very, very subjective. However, by objectively looking at stats, abilities, or moves, we as a community can definitively pinpoint what can improve on a Pokemon. But what if we could change the Pokemon and make them better? I asked my YouTube community that very question. I stated, if you had to fix a bad Pokemon, what would you fix about it? Here are the rules. 1. Pokemon has to be under 500 base stat total. There are a couple exceptions and cannot add more than 30 base stats nor swap its stats around either. 2. No adding insanely broken abilities like Soul Heart, Beast Boost, or Huge/Spear Power, nor any abilities that do not exist. 3. You may add/subtract types if the mon has 2 types already, but you can't change a pure typing, i.e. you can't change a pure grass into a pure water. 4. You may add 3 extra moves that currently is not on a Pokemon. This can be any move, but must be in Generation 9, so no Pursuit, Return, etc. Let's look at what everyone came up with as well as my own. My name is JaCubAsAlways, and we upload daily Pokemon content, so I'd love if you subscribe as we're on the road to 100,000 subscribers by year's end. So first and foremost, I want to go over to what I want to change. Clearly, you guys should know. I'll give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. It's Zebstrika. I'm not even going to count this here. It's Zebstrika. It's clearly a Zebstrika. It's my favorite Pokemon. It's not a good Pokemon. It's under 500. It's like 495, I think, or 490. I want to add the Fire type. I've talked about this in many videos about talking about Mega Zebstrika, etc., etc. It needs the Fire type. It really, really does. Just also, I want to add, instead of adding racing speed, I think 116 is a good spot for it. Let's add 15 to attack and 15 to special attack. So it'd be 95 special attack and 115 attack. I think that really balances it out well. And the moves I would add for it are Swords Dance, Flare Blitz, and I don't really think I want to add another one. I think those are 2 really good ones. And maybe another physical fire one like, what is the new one? Temper Flare? Temper Flare, I think, is a Stomping Tantrum version of Fire type. So yeah, those 3 moves I'd like to add to it. I think that would make it objectively better. I really do. Yeah, it'd be quad weak to ground, but I still think Electric Fire would be in a better spot after what I fixed for it. I personally think so, but that's just me. But anyway, let's get on to your guys' now. So let's get started. Let's start with the Discord version. Breaky Jakey, aka Tom, says, make Sunkern stats 40 across the board and give Sunflora 60 speed instead of 30. As it stands now, Sunkern has one of the worst stats in the game, so give it 10 to each stat and has somewhat of a chance of being slightly useful early game. Sunflora, on the other hand, has a decent stat spread for only having 425 BST, but is severely limited by being unable to utilize its excellent special attack of 105 and speed of 30 with a speed of 30. Due to the lack of speed, unless it has Trick Room up, the low defense and mid HP stat just hinders it. However, if you raise its speed to 30 as a chance, that speed will further be heightened by Chlorophyll's ability it has. Furthermore, if it has Sunny Day active, it is now active 120 speed with 105 special attack, will give any Pokemon a run for its money with Solar Beam. Its other stats are fine as it is not supposed to be an endgame Pokemon. It's supposed to be it's just a flower, so high HP and defense aren't necessarily expected. But the speed is one thing that it needs to be fixed on otherwise completely viable Pokemon. And I'm not just saying all of this because of Percy, which is a meme in the community. This is a complete rant I had like yesterday about good Pokemon being held back because of a single stat. Since it was designed in Gen 2, its abilities and Trick Room were not a thing. It was literally designed to fail with that speed. Yes, it was basically. Also, something else I do want to add, I'd love if they added the Fire type to it and gave it Fire moves. That's one other thing I'd love if they added to Sunflora, making it a Fire Grass type and making it a better Skull Villain. Speaking of Skull Villain, we have Demigod Schmurda saying, we've got to talk about Skull Villain. GameFreak finally introduces a Grass Fire type and it's somehow one of the worst Gen 9 mons. However, I'm going to be realistic for what GameFreak could do to fix Skullvillain based on things they've done in the past, such as minor stat tweaks and move to pool updates. Firstly, we're giving it Raging Fire/Fire Lash, a physical fire move with a base power of 80 or more. The reason we do this is because GameFreak made the thing a mixed attacker with no reliable physical fire move until the Indigo Disc dropped it and got Temper Flare. It didn't even get Fire Punch before that. Next, Demon needs coverage, so let's give it some. Scorching Sand seems obvious, with Shadow Ball plus Dark Pulse plus Extra Sensory giving it the physical coverage it already had in Crunchlands and Headbutt on the special side. This would allow it much greater amount of options in terms of the sets it can run. We will not be giving it any additional setup moves due to its role as a Sun Sweeper, so growth works just fine. What's not fine though is its speed stat, which should be boosted from 75 up to 85. It's not like that would make it the fastest Sun Sweeper as around Hisuian Lilligant has a base speed of 105. Plus, it's a grass type that's weak to rock, so I think the extra speed balances it out. My goal isn't to make Scovillain broken, just to make it decent. And in my opinion, these are buffs that it needs to be decent. As it stands right now, Scovillain is the most underwhelming Gen 9 Mon, and I know because I used it on my playthrough team. And do you know what moveset it was? Flamethrower, Giga Drain, Sunny Day, and Growth. That's how garbage this Mon's move pool is in the game. Fix it. I mean, I agree. I agree with Tom, Sunflora. Just make it Grass Fire so it matches Scovillain. I mean, I get why Scovillain's Fire Grass and why Sunflora's not, but I wish they would do the same thing. Scovillain seems way, way more broken than Sunflora does in this redo. I don't think it gets Shadow Ball, Dark Pulse, and Extrasensory right now, so we'd have to pick, or Scorching Sand, so we'd have to pick 3 of those 4 moves. But yeah, I mean, genuinely, I think they should buff both of those Pokemon for sure, and I would be not upset at all in any way, shape, or form. Next up, we have Samuel, aka Disbelief. As much as I want to make Aggron a pseudo, I can't, so I'm going to give it 20 base stats of special defense, so at least that's 80. And 10 to attack. As I said earlier, the rock type with good stab is overall handicapping Aggron, and for an ability I would give it heat proof because I think anyone could see this as a metal monster dealing with fire type as it's nothing. I don't think it needs any moves just because it has a good move pool in Gen 8 to what I've looked at. And for my little Leaf Dino Meganium, I have a lot of things to say. So we're going to talk about Meganium from a different person. Meganium is also 534, so it doesn't necessarily fit the criteria, but like I said earlier, there will be some exceptions, with Meganium being one of them. Also, wants to be pure steel instead of just steel rock, which makes sense, just like its mega form is pure steel, but it would have to look like pure steel. It kind of looks like a rock type still with its design and everything, so I understand that, but I think that would make Aggron a beast. If it got 20 in SPDF and 10 more in attack, going from 110 to 120, oh goodness, that would be, whoo, yeah, that would be ridiculously good. But anyway, let's go to the YouTube portion. All right, so we have a lot from the YouTube portion. First up, we have Fanabase, who says Chimecho would take a 10 plus to HP, speed, and special attack. Give it Magic Guard, Punk Rock, or Psychic Surge. Give it access to Moonblast, Psychic Noise, and Boom Burst. It automatically is infinitely better. I mean, you're not wrong. Chimecho can't get much worse. Sorry, Tyler, I had to say it couldn't get much worse. To be fair, though, that would be really, really good if it got all those, like Punk Rock, or Psychic Surge, or Magic Guard. Like, are you trying to break the game, dude? Are you generally trying to break? We may as well just give it Psychic Fairy while we're at it, if you're going to give it Moonblast. That seems ridiculously broken. I mean, if it gets, oh my god, it would be so good. Let's not say we didn't. See what I did there? But I'm just saying, I think Chimecho should get a buff. But if you want Chimecho with a buff, go play Pokemon Hegemony, Tyler's game. Kieran Simp says Absol. Add 30 speed, give it sharpness, and give it more moves to take advantage of that physical fighting move. So Sacred Sword, Leaf Blade, Psycho Cut. I think it gets Psycho Cut already, but that would be really good. An Absol with 105 attack, 105 speed and 130 attack. My goodness, would that hit hard? Yes, it would be still pretty frail, but that speed set of 105. Oh God, I don't want to hit into that. Thank you so much, Kieran, for the comment. Beaker says Luxray. I mean, it's above 500 PST, but it needs some more speed for an electric type, and I love Intimidate, but if we can't add any stats, well, I said you can add stats up to 30 base stats to anything, and give it Surge Surfer with Electric Drain, and maybe even the Dark type, people just keep asking for it with his attack higher than High Side. It would be more than 100% of a threat when it comes out. Oh my gosh, Luxray with Surge Surfer, even at like 70 speed, it would still be a menace with Surge Surfer. You just give it Surge Surfer and like, oh my god, that would be really good. That'd be good. I'd be there for that. But I do think Guts is really good, so I'd rather just give it speed with Guts. Next up, we have Dragonite is based, says Delibird. With the Ice Fairy type, fairies and Santa are commonly associated with magic. Special attack from 65 to 75, its speed from 75 to 95. Hidden ability from Insomnia to Sheer, oh my god. Sheer Force. To be fair, Nidoqueen's got like 75, 76 special attack, so that could work easily. New moves Moonblast, because Santa works at night. Ooh, Focus Blast with Moonblast. He can already hit blast coverage, and Flip Turn taking part of the Iron Bundle kit here. That's actually pretty cool. That's really cool. Nidoking uses 85 special attack with sheer force and 85 speed, so hopefully Delibird can use this too. Definitely not a top tier, honestly, just because its pathetic bulk will probably be bad, but not a joke anymore. Yeah, Ice Fairy is much, much, much better than Ice Flying ever could be. Obviously, it's quad weak to Steel, but it's not weak to fighting anymore. It gains a poison weakness, but overall, I still think it's better. It's also not quad weak to rock anymore either, which is good. So I think this is definitely an improvement for Delibird, and I would be here for it. Like, don't give me crazy ideas for the ROM hack I'm making. So yeah. Next up, we have Nightmare 3642, who says Bastiodon. Change it from Rock Steel to Steel, so just like Aggron. Ability change from Soundproof to Solid Rock. Oh, goodness gracious. And add the moves Recover. HP from 60 to 90. Yeah, this is pretty broken. Like, it can't hit very hard, but it also gets Iron Defense and Body Press, and it's a pure Steel with Solid Rock. That's basically Mega Aggron. This is essentially Mega Aggron, but better. Yeah, this is a better Mega Aggron. This instantly becomes like a 12 or 13 point mono draft, and like probably UU in Showdown. And I don't really know if it has much viability in VGC, but it'd probably be okay in VGC too. Yeah, this is really good. Let's change it. That'd be awesome, actually. Let's see. Dark Templar 446 says, I don't know what base that total is, but Meganium should be Grass Fairy and get Triage in the ability. Plus 3 priority on healing moves makes a lot of sense for a support Pokemon. Also give it Moonblast so it can do some kind of damage, but plus 3 Giga Drain would most likely be better. But also you can run Draining Kiss as well, so I agree. I think Samuel, aka Disbelief, said similar things in Discord, so definitely do this. This is basically what Radical Red did with it. Made a Grass Fairy with Triage. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense. I do like it. Just Meganium should have been Grass Fairy from the beginning. Why give it to Whimsicott but not Meganium? What did Meganium do to you, Game Freak? It's not a VGC competitor like Whimsicott is because of Tailwind and Prankster. Okay, Game Freak. Josh is trolling me here. He says, since you mentioned replace the type, I feel like Substrika should lose Electric type and be normal type. No, Josh. Absolutely not. Alright, the last one we have is Charmander says, Charizard not being Fire Dragon has never sat well with me, so I changed that. Honestly, I don't necessarily fully agree, because like we have Mega Charizard X from Gen 6, so I don't really think we need normal Charizard being Fire Dragon. I think it's fine being Fire Flying right now. I think it should have, like, if we're going back to change everything, yes, then it should have been Fire Dragon. But then if we're saying that, then Charizard Y should have also been Fire Dragon, and everything should just be Fire Dragon as a Mega form. And that's what we should be doing. However, right now, currently with what stand and stood, I don't really think I can agree to that fully. But yeah, I mean, I think that's still a cool concept. I still think that would be a good idea, but also a bad idea, because I don't think they would change that at this point, and I don't really think we need to change that currently. But also, he's got Charmander in his name, so I don't blame him for wanting his potential favorite Pokemon to be buffed like that. But anyway, that is everything that you guys said. That's everything that I said regarding fixing bad Pokemon. But my name has been JaCubAsAlways. If you guys are new to this channel, we upload daily Pokemon content, so I guarantee you will love this channel. So please make sure you subscribe, as we're on the road to 100,000 subscribers by the end of 2024. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day, and I love you all. Bye.